somebody to fucking tell me they're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying right fucking now, because what the fuck do you mean that I'm not gonna get my fucking SNAP benefits? What the fuck do you mean? Because what the fuck is happening? Do you understand that there are people like me who cannot work? Do you understand there are people like me who have kids who cannot eat? Do you understand there are people like me who go hungry the last week of the month just so my kids can't eat because SNAP benefits is all we fucking get? I need somebody to please fucking tell me he's lying. I can't.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, your home for commentary that tells it like it is. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Drop a like and join the conversation in the comment section. Now, grab your plate, or maybe don't, because this Thanksgiving, some folks might be staring at an empty table thanks to the great Trump economy. You ever notice how the people who scream the loudest about making America great again are now the ones complaining that they can't afford a turkey? Yeah, looks like this year's Thanksgiving special is called Gobble while you can, staring Trump's policies and a side of regret.
Y'all, in another edition of As the White Hood Turns, have y'all heard that they're going to run out of SNAP benefits by November? Have you heard this? Well, if not, strap in, buckle up, let's go. Listen, I want to understand, MAGA, are y'all winning yet? Are y'all winning? Because the majority of you that voted for syphilitic Sid are the people that received most of these benefits. Now, this man done lied to y'all and told y'all that it was undocumented and illegals that were getting these benefits. But we about to find out who really getting these benefits, because y'all ain't getting no turkey. Y'all ain't getting no ham. Meemaw ain't gonna have no butter rolls, nothing, because y'all ain't gonna have nothing. The USDA has said that if the government does not open up because of this shutdown, there will be no more funds. No more federal funds for any of these benefits. So I just want to understand. I want to run it back. Just bear with me for a moment. I want to run it back. So let me get this straight. Y'all voted for this fool, and now your SNAP benefits ain't benefiting. Your Medicaid ain't Medicading. Right? These tariffs ain't tariffing the way he said they was gonna tariff. But y'all still over here. The only thing that y'all can point to is the deportations. So while you over here giddy about a 13-year-old being deported to some unknown country, y'all about to not have no Thanksgiving. You might not have anything for Christmas either. I just want one of y'all to step to the front and make it make sense. Make it make sense. Cause, again, y'all ain't about to have no holidays, but y'all worried because he done convinced y'all that an undocumented person gets $1 more than you do. I have no words for y'all. Good luck. Because again, the farmers ain't farming. The tariffs ain't tariffing. The SNAP benefits ain't benefiting. And the Medicaid ain't Medicading. Okay. Good luck. Good luck. Okay, bye.
I am a social worker, if you guys didn't know, and I'm going to start using my platform to bring awareness to situations that's actually happening in today's time. Around 48 million people, homes, families are not going to receive food stamps because Donald Trump decides to shut down the government. Mind you, he shut down the government because Democrats didn't want to give him enough votes for something that he won. But look, if you want our vote, baby, you got to negotiate something. We're not going to give it to you for free. Because of that, 48 million people are not going to receive food stamps when it comes to November. November 1st, you think people finna get deposits? No. Government shut down. There's no more government funding for, obviously, SNAP. Who the fuck finna give us the money for our food stamps? Nobody. The government don't want to. Y'all president said, fuck y'all. Because this is who y'all voted for. Like, do y'all not understand how many people are actually on food stamps? That's, like, not going to get food anymore? I'm actually genuinely confused because I'm one of the people that help these people get food stamps. So now it's like, how the fuck is these people gonna eat?
Okay, let's talk about this. So, regardless how you feel about this, come November 1st, in all likeliness, if the government shutdown has not ended, about 41 million Americans will stop receiving their SNAP benefits or food stamps. Same thing if you don't know what that means. That's about 12.6% of the United States population. It's a lot of people. In fiscal year 2023, 39% of recipients were children, so those under 18. 11% were children under 5 years of age. 19% were elderly, and about 88% of the households that received it had at least one person in that house under 18. So understand, this is a problem. And even if you're doing well and you don't receive SNAP benefits and you are worried about your tax dollars going to people who do receive SNAP benefits, fair point. But when you take food away from already a desperate set of people, you know, when people are pushed into a corner, people tend to do things that are a little aggressive. So I'm curious, what's your guys' thoughts on this? Are you one of the people that are like, oh, give these poor people some food? Or are you one of these people that's saying, these people need to get a job? I'm very curious what you think about it, so let me know in the comments.
America's economy is losing over and over because of Trump's shambolic trade war. I mean, it was really stupid to say to the number one country that buys the very few things that we make, fuck you. Well, now they're saying, no, fuck you. We used to sell $13 billion in soybeans to China. They said, you know what? Fuck that. We'll get them from Brazil. We don't sell that many things to other countries. We can't have a $13 billion sale just canceled. We also make beef and poultry. We used to sell tons of that to China. Now they're getting it from Australia. That's another one of the very few products we make and sell overseas gone. That's billions of dollars out of the American economy. We used to sell liquefied petroleum gas to China. Now they're going to get that from the Middle East instead of us. I'm not saying this is going to happen. They've already canceled their orders and started getting their things from these other places. So American producers had consumers in China, and those were lost because of Trump. This is billions of dollars that is lost to thousands of American producers. And these contracts are not just magically going to come back after this trade war ends. You have damaged the American economy for the long term. Good job, guys.
I don't think people realize how quickly Trump is tanking the economy. When Trump took office, he inherited the strongest economy for an incoming president since George W. Bush. Job growth was booming, wages were up, inflation was down, and the stock market was climbing. Fast forward to today, and Trump's tariffs and his economic agenda have thrown everything in reverse. The new jobs report is brutal. The economy added just 22,000 jobs in August, about 50,000 jobs short of expectations. But the revisions for June and July were even worse. For the first time in 4 years, since the last time Trump was president, the economy actually lost jobs. And it's hitting some of our most important industries the hardest. Over the last 3 months, we've lost 31,000 manufacturing jobs, 13,000 mining jobs, and about 10,000 construction jobs. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is raiding factories and stripping legal status from 1 million immigrants, which in their absurd theory was supposed to help the most vulnerable American workers. But black unemployment is now at 7.5%, the highest in 4 years, and youth unemployment for 16 to 24-year-olds is at 10.5%. And it's not just jobs. In July, we also saw one of the biggest monthly spikes in inflation, which is now at its fastest pace in 5 months. And families are feeling it, with back-to-school supplies up 7.3% this year. And to put the cherry on top, after Trump inherited 12 straight quarters of economic growth, our economy actually shrank in the first quarter of this year, and has remained slow as consumers brace for even higher prices. A lot of Americans held their noses and voted for Trump, thinking that he'd fix the economy. But like everything else with him, his thirst for power and control has led to utter chaos. And unless we call it out now, he'll continue to lie and drive our economy off the cliff. So share this video and follow me to stay in the loop.
Donald Trump's authoritarianism has a cost. His abuses of power are directly negatively impacting the economic well-being of everyday Americans. Democrats do not have to pick between the message of affordability or the message of anti-authoritarianism. They can do both at the exact same time because authoritarianism and affordability are intrinsically tied together. Let me explain. I'm an independent journalist that's been covering Donald Trump and American politics for over a decade now. I've made appearances on MSNBC, CNN, I write a best-selling Substack newsletter, and I documented every single day of Trump's first term. And I'm here to tell you that this debate between whether or not Democrats should pursue affordability-only message or an anti-authoritarian message is irrelevant. Because what it comes down to is that they're both tied together. Donald Trump's abuses of power and authoritarian overreach are having real quantifiable negative impacts on the economy. And it's right here in the data for all of us to see. Let me break this down. Donald Trump's inflationary tariffs, which have risen prices and slowed the economy, leading to the slowest months of job growth since the pandemic, and before that, the Great Recession, which has led to actual job loss. Those tariffs are based on a fake emergency declaration, an economic emergency declaration that's predicated on an emergency that does not exist. It's an abuse of executive power. This is an example of Donald Trump's authoritarianism having a direct negative economic impact on everyday Americans. And Democrats should say that. Donald Trump's purges of federal workers, violating civil service protections, his targeting of nonpartisan civil servants. You know what those have done? Not only boosting the unemployment rate overall, they have disproportionately impacted black Americans. 7.5% black unemployment is what the African American community is seeing right now. Black people are being hit the hardest by these federal purges. The New York Times highlighted this in a recent article. This is real. Black people used to make up 18% of the federal workforce before Donald Trump took office. Anti-DEI policies, these indiscriminate firings of nonpartisan civil servants, they're impacting black Americans and raising the black unemployment rate. Another example of an abuse of power, an authoritarian abuse of power directly impacting and harming everyday Americans. This is a message Democrats should highlight. It's tied directly to affordability and Americans' livelihoods. Immigration, Donald Trump's ICE raids, his cruel, unconstitutional detainments of everyday Americans, his deportations of hardworking immigrants who are here just trying to make a better way, these violations of Fourth and Fifth Amendment rights, these are abuses of power. But guess what? They're also damaging local economies. The American Immigration Council published an article making this exact point, showing workforce depletion across agriculture and construction industries. We're seeing this having real meaningful impact on the economy. It is not just about the inhumanity and indecency of this. It's also economically stupid. And that's another point Democrats can point out. Another tie of Trump's authoritarianism directly to the economic reality of everyday Americans. Another layer to add to this messaging is the fact that Donald Trump, while he's raising prices on Americans and damaging the economy, is personally enriching himself and his family through these crypto scams and these Middle East grifts. He is directly enriching himself while raising prices on Americans. It's a clear-cut message. You don't have to make a choice between messaging around Donald Trump's authoritarianism or messaging around kitchen table issues, because right now, Donald Trump's authoritarianism is landing on Americans' kitchen tables. I made this argument in a recent appearance on MSNBC. You can go check out. I wrote an article on this and went into more detail on the data on my Substack newsletter, ahmedbaba.news. You can go read that if you'd like, and subscribe if you're interested. And I just think that this is an issue that should resonate, right? Like, it's not just about democracy or affordability. Like, you can talk about the cruelty of this administration and the unconstitutional nature of their behavior, while also highlighting that that behavior is directly impacting you, the everyday American. It's raising your prices. It's damaging the economy. It's leading to unemployment. And I think this can be highlighted in a real way. So that's my point. That's the case I'm making. Appreciate you watching. Subscribe, follow, check out my work. I'm going to keep doing videos like this. We got a lot we're navigating right now, and I appreciate you spending that time with me. So take care.
About 36 hours ago, I posted a video saying America's headed into recession. A few hours later, the Wall Street Journal came out with a full-page article saying we're headed into recession. CNBC backed it up yesterday. This is becoming mainstream. I didn't really know how fast this was going to gain traction, but I knew we were very, very close, okay? Yesterday, the market was down 850. Today, right now, it's down about 700 points. Just a few hours ago, Trump has threatened Canada with more pain than we've ever inflicted on our best friend and neighbor, Canada. This is becoming faster and faster. This is going to happen. Okay, 1.5 million of you have watched this video since I posted it 36 hours ago, and I know a lot of you guys are afraid. Okay, and I'm sorry about that, but you should be afraid. Trump is unhinged. Okay, I've known him half my life. He's a sociopath. He has no empathy for other people. He doesn't feel anyone else's pain. And he's the most powerful man and one of the richest people in the world now. And so he doesn't feel grocery store pain or any other pain or like that. He's just going to keep going forward. I wouldn't be surprised if we sent troops into Canada. Our best friend. Okay, all right, so what do? Let's get down to it. Here's what we have to do, guys. We have to outlast this guy. That's it, okay? Yeah, the GOP is a mess. There's a bunch of cowards in there that won't stand up to the bully Trump. I get it. You're right about that, okay? But Trump is the lightning rod. He is the sociopath, okay? They're just a bunch of cowards, the other people. But Trump is the sociopath. We have to outlast this guy. All right, what do? I've written 4 books on money. I have some suggestions for you. I hope you'll consider them as you go forward, okay? Please build an emergency fund. I want you to build the biggest emergency fund that you can. Ideally 12 months, okay, of money. So if you make $50,000 a year, you need a $50,000 emergency fund. If you make $100,000 a year, etc., you need $100,000. Now, if you're sitting there saying, Steve, I think that's great, but I can't, how am I going to possibly do that? I don't know. I'm talking to 1.5 million people, so everyone's different, okay, but I do have some suggestions for broad suggestions. Some of it will work for some people and others for others, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, number 1. Go through your subscriptions, Netflix, Hulu, all these subscriptions we have, but we don't use most of them, Audible, all that stuff, right? Prime, and cancel them. Cancel them for now. You can get them back later, okay? And especially movies, okay? Well, we pay for movies. I know it's $20 or $10 or, $30 or whatever it is. Get a library card if you don't have it. This is my library card for the North Georgia Library System. I love the library. I check out books. I was in there yesterday, check out books all the time, and just fantastic. It's all free. It's all free.
The latest jobs report has just come out, and it's confirmed once again that the Trump economy is a complete and total disaster. Unemployment is up, job creation is down, and these extremists haven't done a damn thing about inflation. But it gets worse than that. The Trump administration initially reported that 125,000 jobs were created in May. It turns out only 19,000 jobs were created that month. The Trump administration also initially reported that 147,000 jobs were created in June, but it turns out that only 14,000 jobs were created that month. Everything about this administration is fake. Donald Trump and House Republicans are crashing the economy in real time, driving us toward a recession, and the American people are being hurt.
Today I'm a bad mom because I won't take my kids to the state fair. We're a family of 5. Each ticket's $20 and parking's $20. That's $120 even before we get our toe in the door. We're paying $120 just to see chickens and piggies that I can see down the road at the farm. Now, if they want to play some games, it's $1 per ticket. So if they get 60 tickets, right? $60. To throw 5 darts, it's $1 a dart. But you need to throw 15 darts to get a prize, okay? Each ride is 8 tickets, but you need a parent to go on, so that's 16 tickets, which again, it's $1 per ticket. So say if my kids wanted to go on 5 rides apiece at $8 a ticket, that's $80 per kid because an adult needs to go with them, so that's $160 right there, just for 5 rides. And we're not even getting into the food. A turkey leg, $25 for a turkey leg, $8 for a cup of soda. I told the kids that I would rather take them to Disneyland than the state fair because of how expensive it is. I asked one of my mother friends how much it cost her for her family of 4. She said she left paying $500, and that was just for dinner, the tickets to get in, the parking, and a few rides. $500 for a state fair? I said, what did you get? I was like, did you even win any prizes? She goes, no, we didn't even get to win any prizes. Like, don't they have the little magnet fish that everybody wins? So yeah, I'm gonna be a bad mom because I'm not gonna take my kids to the state fair because I'm not gonna throw $400, $500, $600 at some carny rides and a $25 turkey leg.
If you don't get your SNAP benefits in November and you voted for Trump, please make the video when you realize you're not going to be able to eat for the month of November. If you don't get your SNAP benefits and you voted for Kamala, please let us know and we will make sure that your month of November and Thanksgiving are as equally good as if you got your benefits. We'll get GoFundMe's going, things like that. But only for the people that voted for Kamala.
Trump supporters, federal workers laid off.
As this government shutdown drags on, there are a lot of federal workers who are having trouble paying the bills and having trouble putting food on the table for their families because paychecks are starting to run out. Some are seeing partial paychecks. Soon people are going to see no paycheck at all. Now, the Capital Area Food Bank, they are trying to help with that. I'm here at their warehouse this morning filled with food. They're going to be doing some special distribution.
And we gave $40 billion to Argentina. Trump supporters, you still don't get it? Not yet? I'll check back in with you.
Here's the real question. If millions of families are going into debt just to eat, what does that say about the true health of the U.S. economy? A new survey shows that about a quarter of Americans are using buy now, pay later apps like Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay just to buy groceries. We are not talking about sneakers and vacations. We're talking about milk, eggs, and pasta on a payment plan. And that number is climbing fast, which means more and more people literally can't afford food up front anymore. Let's be honest. Wall Street might look fine, but Main Street is starving. Call me crazy, but I would love to live in a society where moms don't have to worry about feeding their children, where dads don't have to work 10 jobs to make sure that Eggos can go in the toaster in the morning. That would be my ideal society, but I know I'm a little crazy.
It hurts my pride to post this video, but I am freaking out about money today. I absolutely know that I'm not alone. I know that a lot of the people who voted for Trump did it because they thought that he was going to lower the cost of living, and very much the opposite has happened. And when the budget bill passes, because it's probably going to, probably a 98% chance they will find a way to pass it. Even if you're not on Medicare or Medicaid, which I'm not, I have health insurance through my company, it's likely that our health insurance premiums are going to go up. And the Fed is saying that they're not going to cut interest rates anytime soon. So we are literally backed into a corner where many people are now financing their groceries. They're putting like sandwiches on layaway, bitch. I'm a lucky person who is at least living slightly above paycheck to paycheck, but I have a bunch of credit card debt that I don't know if I'm ever going to get out of. And again, it feels like shit to admit that on a public platform, but I think it's really important to understand that desperation for a lot of people leads them to a place where they will do anything to fix their circumstances, especially for those of us that have children. And I do understand that MAGA was simply desperate for any change. And that is why Democratic Socialists always win elections, because they're addressing the actual problem for the vast majority of people, which is the affordability crisis. And now we're staring down the barrel of another fucking gun. They're going to do this again, and life is going to get more expensive, and there are more tariffs coming, and what are we supposed to do? I am sick to my stomach thinking about all of the Americans that are about to have no health insurance at all. I just don't think that people understand how many Americans are about to lose their lives.
Let's talk about what's really going down. The Trump administration's so-called economic recovery has been about as filling as gas station sandwich. Prices are through the roof. Eggs, milk, even canned cranberry sauce. And now, as if that wasn't enough, his team's been flirting with taking away SNAP benefits, food stamps, and other essential programs that keep millions of American families fed. That's right, the same administration that bailed out billionaires subsidized corporations and handed tax cuts to the wealthy is tightening the belt on the poorest Americans right before the holidays. Because apparently the message is we can't afford to help the hungry, but we can afford another golf trip. You get the irony. Many of these cuts are hitting Trump's own voter base, the rural and working class Americans who believed he was, their savior. These folks voted for the businessman who promised to drain the swamp. Turn out he just drained his wallet or their wallets, right? Now, these same MAGA diehards are realizing that economic nationalism doesn't pay the bills or fuel the fridge. Thanksgiving dinner is starting to look more like a political statement or worse, a luxury. They said Trump's bringing jobs back. Sure, jobs that don't pay enough to cover groceries. They said we don't need government bailouts or government handouts. But suddenly, when the food pantry runs out or runs dry, that SNAP card doesn't sound so bad after all, right? Funny how that works, huh? And let's be honest, this isn't just about economics. It's about intent. Cutting food assistance isn't a budget-saving move. It's a power play. It's about punishing the poor, shaming the needy, and rewarding the rich. It's the political version of if you're hungry, that's your fault. Now, imagine being a parent trying to explain to your kid why there's no turkey this year. Sorry, honey. The government says we're too lazy to deserve dinner. Meanwhile, Trump and his friends are carving up tax breaks like it's a 5-course feast. This isn't America first. It's the rich first, and the rest of you figure it out. So here we are, the land of abundance, where billionaires are buying their 40 yachts while ordinary Americans are choosing between heating the house or heating dinner. Thanksgiving used to be a time for gratitude. Now, under Trump economy, it's turning into a time for grim reality checks. Maybe next year's slogan should be make groceries affordable again. Because right now, the only thing Trump's economy is feeding is regret. So tell me, do you think Trump's voters are finally learning the hard way that, FAFO isn't just a meme? Now, should the government safety nets like SNAP be untouchable, especially in times like these? And do you think America will ever stop voting against its own dinner plate? Drop your thoughts below, share this video if you're tired of the hypocrisy, and don't forget to subscribe for more sharp takes on American politics. Until next time, happy Thanksgiving. If you can afford one, I'll see you on my next video. Credit belongs to original creators.